Hello, chuffing ladies and gentlemen, sunshines and chuffing sweethearts. Welcome to another instalment. Chuffing big house quick shots. Now stick around you in for a chuffing treat. Well, I tell you that for a chuffing now. Screw it, let's do it. And all that shenanigans, palaver. See what I did there? I got all my best known chuffing big house chuffing saints out of the way in one chuffing foul. So that's what kind of mood I'm in. I'm not in the mood for chuffing messing about today. Down to chuffing serious bloody business. Now, today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, sunshines and chuffing sweethearts, is been made very easy by my latest subscriber. Now, you know I appreciate all my subscribers. I love you all the same. I don't put one on, I don't pedestalize any of you. I like this subscriber as much as that subscriber, as much as other subscribers. I even appreciate those people who accidentally, they type it wrong chuffing thing and they end up with my chuffing mug on screen. And they watch it for about 10 seconds, then they mutter under the chuffing breath to chuffing wife, who the hell is this chuffing knobhead? And the chuffing turn off. I even appreciate you. Keep on doing it, but if you can, if you do it by accident in future, the watch time, not 10 seconds, make it 30. And then I get another chuffing like, another watch. I'm only kidding. I don't do it for that reason. I do it anyway. Anybody who watches it, even for chuffing 5 seconds, I chuffing appreciate it. Now, so I realised I've got another chuffing subscriber. I'm 39 now. Chuffing big deal. I'm a chuffing megastar, not a chuffing superstar. I'm a legend in my own chuffing back garden. And then, I always have a look, see if I can see who it is. This is equivalent now. This is how I'm going to summarise it. Imagine you kind of put a piece of guitar music on. And next thing you know, either chuffing Eric Clapped Out, or chuffing Mark Knopfler, or Chris Israel, or chuffing Carlos chuffing Sultana, subscribe to you. Because they like your playing and they want to see chuffing more of it. Now, this is predominantly, as you know, a whiskey station. We do music and bits of chuffing daft bloody shite and stuff like this. So it's primarily a whiskey channel. And you subscribe, I looked on it. Chuffing Penderyn. Now, I don't know if you know, I have reviewed a Penderyn chuffing whiskey in the past. It was the Penderyn chuffing Madeira finisher, chuffing Stacey, chuffing C. I tell you that for chuffing now, get it bought. But they've subscribed to me, so they obviously like something that I'm doing. So they made it a non-brainer because I bought the chuffing multi-pack, which featured the chuffing Madeira, the Sherrywood, and the chuffing Peter. So today, in honour of those fine, outstanding chuffing distillery, we're going to have a chuffing quick look at Penderyn's chuffing Sherrywood, big out chuffing miniature series. Right, we're going to get this poured out in a second. Just to refresh your chuffing marbles, because I've told you this information before, but you might not have seen it. So, Penderyn Distillery is the home of the Welsh whiskey, producing award-winning malt. They produce award-winning malt chuffing whiskies. They've got 3 distilleries. There's one at chuffing Brecon Beacons. There's one in chuffing Clandudno, and there's one at bloody Swansea Copper Works. Now, this particular one that we're looking at here, which is the chuffing, turn it out there, is the Sherrywood. This is a little miniature, obviously. Comes with this chuffing pamphlet here. Tells you all chuffing about them. This one, it says, the Penderyn Sherrywood in this bottle has been aged in ex-bourbon barrels and ex-Oloroso sherry casks to bring out its rich, fruity flavour. At a generous 46% ABV, it has the classic Penderyn freshness, while aromas of dark fruit, rich toffee mingle with green apples and chuffing hazelnuts to create a deeper chuffing mystery. On the palate, rich sweetness gives way to chuffing refreshing dryness. Yet sweet notes of toffee and sultana persist in the chuffing long finish. Sounds like a chuffing tasty chuffing morsel. Now, I'm not going to do a favouritism. Just because of chuffing subscribe, if I pour this out and it spells shite and it chuffing tastes shite, I'm going to chuffing tell you it's chuffing shite. So don't be trying to chuffing buy any kind of bloody favouritism by chuffing subscribe, because that's not how I chuffing operate. I operate from a base of complete and utter chuffing stern chuffing honesty. So you might be unchuffing subscribing after this bloody review. I tell you that for chuffing now, bloody Penderyn. Right. If I know what I know about chuffing Penderyn, I've never had this one. It'd be a tasty chuffing treat. Right. Left nostril, right nostril, chin, left nipple, right nipple, belly button. Hey, let's bloody chuffy get involved with this bloody Welsh bloody Penderyn chuffing Sherrywood chuffing finish chuffing bourbon bloody fruity number. Yeah. Basically, I've had the Madeira one, and I should have done my research a little bit better there. There definitely will be chuffing unsubscribing by the end of this. Father-in-law has given me what is their kind of flagship entry-level base one, which is the red one. I can never remember if it's called Legend or something like this. But it's just their kind of straight ahead, the most simplistic and the cheapest bottling. But it was still very tasty. I can smell the house character in this. Some of the fragrances that were in with the Madeira and in with that one are in here as well. But you can also, with this one, you can smell that sherry. Ex Oloroso. Smells beautiful, man. Smells beautiful. And it's definitely got its own character. I've not smelled anything really that's similar to that, really. That kind of dark fruit. And so, what interests me is the way they've amalgamated and mixed the dark fruit, so that kind of essence of it, obviously with the sherry, but with the apples, which is more of a kind of lighter kind of, you know, you're mixing the dark fruit with the white, with the green apple chart bloody stuff. It's a good chuffing idea. It's a good idea. Right, we'll have a bloody slew. We'll wrap it round chuffing tonsils and I'll let you know what I think about bloody flavour. It's delicious. It's a tasty treat. I would say the main difference for me, there's a few differences between that and the Madeira. The main difference is the way it's a sledgehammer approach. I don't mean that in the bad way, but that is an explosion of flavour in the mouth. It really, I think it attacks your palate more than the Madeira finish one does. Let me have a little sip. Now, taste buds as a climatically cough then. It's not harsh. It's not harsh. It just a little bit just went down throat before I had time to jump in chomp on it. But yeah, once my palate had acclimatised to it, my taste buds had acclimatised to it, the second one, not quite so aggressive. First one, like I say, it's not harsh at all, but it really attacked my palate. But I like that kind of stuff. You just ask me, missus, I don't like boring flavoured stuff. I'm not a kind of... I could eat a chip butty, but I like to put plenty of chuffing ketchup on it and stuff like this. But I like my curries and my chuffing Mexican food and I like my Chinese. I don't like stuff that's bland. I like stuff that really attacks and tantalises my chuffing senses. I like music that's quite excitable, although I like chilled out stuff as well. But music that's quite excitable, food that's quite excitable. I like drinks that are quite excitable. And there's a lot to that. That's quite a complicated little chuffing number. A chasey chuffing treat, that. One last little what he said. Right. And yeah, we mentioned Carlos bloody Sultana here earlier on. You can taste that kind of them sultanas or bloody whatever it is, raisins in the background. I'll finish. Delicious little drop. Gets better with every mouthful, actually. Always a good indicator. If something either stays the same or tails off even and becomes less interesting, it's a sign of a mediocre whiskey. If something starts to just, every time you have a little sip, it rises and you get a bit more out of it and a bit more out of it and a bit more out of it, it's a good sign that it's a very good whiskey. That's a very good whiskey. I say you get chuffing, seriously, chuffing tanked up on that, 46% bloody. Not taking no chuffing prisoners. But Penderyn, thanks for the subscription, and obviously my recommendation is buy it. I've not had the peated one yet. I've had the Madeira. I've had the Sherrywood. Both excellent. If I had to pick a favourite, maybe the Madeira, because I've got a bit more of an history with it. But that is excellent. That is an excellent chuffing sherry bomber. There's plenty going off on there. And I like the fact that they are different. You know, they're quite... Certain fragrances in the smell are similar. You can smell the house character, but on the palate, similar up to a point, but quite different, I would say. Definitely two different, which is what you want. You know, you don't want a Madeira finished chuffing Penderyn to taste like a flaming Sherrywood finished bloody Penderyn. No, you want them to be different. It's like a Gibson, Les Paul and a Fender Stratocaster. Both great guitars, but chuffing different. Now, just a little quick chuffing story about something that serious that happened at Chuffing Works today. Basically came back after the break. I'd had quite a lot of chuffing fruit and water and all this kind of stuff. It's not unusual for me after break to need to chuffing alleviate the old chuffing bowels. Go for a chuffing number 2, you know what I mean? I had plenty of number 1s, but I need another chuffing number 2. Tons of toilets at work. Went to one set of toilets, they're chuffing full. Went to another chuffing set of toilets, they're full. Complained to chuffing this guy called Chuffing Terry. He says, well, check that bloody bog upstairs. He said, it's the cleanest one in chuffing facility, you know what I mean? Check that one. Went up there, there's somebody's chuffing arse on that. And out of half of these bloody toilet booths, you can hear them on the chuffing phones, talking to other chuffing missuses, playing bloody games, watching movies. There's me generally needing a chuffing shite, and they're watching and listening to all this chuffing crap. And the thing is as well, the piece of equipment that I was on, I was like pulling up, and it was like electronically configured different to the rest of the machines that I've been on up to that chuffing point. And every time you had to switch it off, you couldn't switch it off in the usual way. It kept on saying chuffing log out. I thought, I've been trying to chuffing log out for the last chuffing 20 minutes, mate. I don't need you chuffing reminding me. So bloody hell, you don't chuffing need it, do you? Last thing I'll say before I leave you to it, ladies and gentlemen, is sometimes at work, we've had cats, we've had chuffing pigeon shiting all over the place at work. And we sometimes have mice, and occasionally have chuffing rats. And I asked this bloke, I says, how do you know when it's a chuffing? Or he asked me actually, he says, what's the best way of telling whether it's a mouse or whether it's a rat? Well, I instantaneously I said, well, a rat's bigger, and it's got like a worm-like kind of chuffing tail, you know what I mean? He says, best way, mate, he says, honestly, stay quiet. If you think you can see one coming, stay quiet. Let it come out. And he says, no, listen. Don't look so much. Listen carefully. And sometimes you'll hear it go, youse. And that's when you know it's a chuffing mouse. So that's his gag, not mine. Don't shoot the chuffing messenger. I was just giving you a bad little chuffing gag to end off this little cheeky whiskey review. Now, catch you later, sunshines and sweethearts. Have a chuffing great day and a great life, and I'll bloody catch you later. Signing off.